Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Legit Astrologer. My name is Rajat Kapoor. Today in this video, I am going to talk about Jupiter's direct transit in the sign of Aries. Jupiter was retrograde for the last 118 days. In the early hours of 31st of December 2023, which is the last day of the year 2023, Jupiter has made this direct transit in the sign of Aries, and Jupiter is going to stay in the sign of Aries till 1st of May. So this direct transit of Jupiter is its last leg transit in the sign of Aries precisely for the next 4 months. And in this video, I am going to talk about how it will have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. In case you're new to my channel, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, keep yourself up to date with all the upcoming transit videos and Vedic astrology videos. In case you wish to book a personalized consultation with me, you can check out the link to my website in the comments section and also the process of reaching out to me. Jupiter, the guru, the biggest planet, the significator of wisdom, knowledge, teacher, mentor, the guru himself. In a general sense, Jupiter is considered to be the most benefic planet of them all. It is a natural benefic after all. It plays a very important role in life related matters because Jupiter is the Jiva. Jupiter also represents knowledge, wisdom, learning. So having a well placed or a strong Jupiter is essential in terms of learning, in terms of knowledge, wisdom and wealth related matters. Jupiter is also the planet which is the significator of 5 important houses in the chart. It is the significator of the second house of wealth, income, family. It is the significator of the 5th house of children, your future. It is the significator of the 9th house of fortune, dharma, father, long distance travel. It is also the significator of the 11th house of labha, that is gains. Jupiter is also considered one of the significators of the 10th house from a knowledge point of view, because this is where you apply what you learn in your day-to-day life, in your job or your profession. Therefore, Jupiter is considered to be one of the most important planets for all of us. Last few days, Jupiter has been moving at an extremely slow pace. This happens when it goes from a retrograde to a direct motion. Jupiter will continue to move at an extremely slow pace for the next few days, and I expect it to start delivering results towards the end of January. Now, before I move on to predictions for the ascendant signs or the moon signs, let's understand some key dates and how this transit is going to have an impact on all of us. Jupiter primarily is going to move through 2 different nakshatras during this time, where it will spend majority of the time. At present, Jupiter is transiting in Ashwini nakshatra in the 4th pada, and that is where it is making a direct motion. It is going to stay in Ashwini nakshatra till 2nd of February. Ashwini nakshatra is ruled by Ketu. The month of January, wherever the sign of Scorpio falls in your chart, it is going to demonstrate some sort of positive results, because this is where Ketu, the lord of Ashwini nakshatra, gets exalted. On 3rd of February, Jupiter is going to transit in Bharani nakshatra, and it is going to stay in Bharani nakshatra till 16th of April. So Jupiter is going to be spending the most time in Bharani nakshatra. This nakshatra is ruled by Venus or Shukra. Venus gets exalted in the sign of Pisces. I could very well comfortably say that during the direct motion of Jupiter in Aries over the next 3 to 4 months, wherever the sign of Pisces falls in your chart is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results. This is an opportunity for you to capitalize on the matters associated to that house in your chart. On 17th of April, Jupiter is going to transit in Kritika nakshatra, and it will stay in Kritika nakshatra till mid of June. Kritika nakshatra is ruled by Sun or Surya. So in the last phase of this Jupiter's transit, wherever the sign of Aries falls in your chart is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results. Now, if we have a look at the chart that I have prepared at the exact time of this transit, this is extremely important to understand in terms of any favorable results related to Jupiter. Based on this chart that you can see here, I have observed that it is Sagittarius rising with Mars and Sun in the 1st house, and the Lagna Lord Jupiter itself is making a transit in the 5th house of Aries. This is creating a natural yoga in transit where the Lagna Lord has moved into the 5th house, which indicates quite a positive future. The next 4 months could be an optimum time to prepare, plan for your own future, to put your priorities together or set some goals that you wish to achieve over the next few months. This could be potentially a favorable time. Jupiter during its transit in the sign of Aries is going to be aspected by Saturn all throughout the time. Saturn is going pretty strong and also in a direct motion in the sign of Aquarius. It is aspecting Jupiter by its third aspect. Saturn's third aspect is an Upachaya aspect, which signifies growth. It is always supportive of Jupiter's results. So this means there is growth of knowledge, there is growth of wisdom, there is growth of higher education, there is growth of intelligence, because Jupiter is making a transit in the natural first house of the Kalapurusha Kundali, which represents Dhi. This is where your brain sits. It is all about intelligence. This is the natural 9th house lord and the natural 12th house lord that is making a transit in the natural first house, which is the sign of Aries, in a direct motion, in a positive state, which means it is time to put your dharmic and spiritual practices within yourself and embrace those practices for your own good. We are going to see a rise in long distance travel, in dharmic, spiritual practices, meditation, and also the ability of people to help others, those who are in need. So this is something you can keep in mind over the next few months. Interestingly, from a double transit perspective, from January through April, the sign of Leo is very much active because this sign is being jointly aspected by Jupiter and Saturn. Jupiter is making its 5th aspect on the sign of Leo and Saturn is having its 7th aspect on the sign of Leo. So wherever the sign of Leo falls in your chart, you are going to witness significant results with regards to matters related to this house. Now during this direct motion, Jupiter is going to aspect 3 houses. Jupiter aspects 5th from its position, 7th from its position and 9th from its position. Its 5th and the 9th aspect are considered 100% aspect and its 7th aspect is mere 50%. Jupiter is aspecting 100% on the sign of Leo and 100% to the sign of Sagittarius, which is its Mool Trikona sign, and Jupiter is making a 50% aspect on the sign of Libra. Jupiter's 5th and 9th aspect are special aspects which represents Jnana or knowledge. This is the time when it is an opportunity for us to improve significations with regards to matters of these houses wherever it is placed in your chart, and I'm going to specifically talk about all ascendants and how you can make the most of this transit. Who is going to have the maximum impact of this transit? If you are going through a Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha where Jupiter is playing a role, Saturn is playing a role, Ketu is playing a role, Venus is playing a role, or Sun is playing a role, you are likely to be impacted by this transit. Jupiter is moving through Aries, which is ruled by Mars or Mangala. If you are going through a Mahadasha, Antardasha, Pratantardasha where Mars is playing a role, you are likely to be impacted by this transit. If you have prominent planets in the sign of Aries, Leo, Libra and Sagittarius, you are likely to be impacted by this transit. I could very well say that more than 80% of people are likely to have some or the other impact of this transit. Let's now understand how this transit is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs or the moon signs. From a physical point of view, you can relate this transit with your ascendant sign, and at a mental level, you can relate this transit to your moon sign. Let's start with Aries ascendants or Aries moon signs. For Aries ascendants, Jupiter is your 9th lord and your 12th lord. Jupiter rules dharma, fortune, long distance travel, father or father figure. It is a yoga karaka planet for you because it becomes your bhagyesha, which means Jupiter is one of the most important planets for Aries ascendants. It is also the 12th lord, the lord that governs your losses, expenditure, your higher self consciousness, how you like to rest, or is it also the house of sleep or bed comforts. This is where we also see spirituality from. This Jupiter is making a transit in your first house in a direct motion for the next 4 months, which is its last leg of the transit. Jupiter gains directional strength in the first house or the Lagna itself. That means there are blessings of the Devata during this time. It is quite an auspicious transit. One, it is creating a yoga in transit. It is a trinal lord transiting through the first house. Secondly, it is gaining directional strength. It is further strengthened. And in case you have a strong Mangal or Mars, which is your Lagna Lord in your chart, this transit could be extremely favorable in a lot of ways for you. The message for this transit is that you need to focus on higher learning, upskilling yourself, and also taking up long journeys. These journeys could be for spiritual pursuits or for your work related matters. It could be highly beneficial for you. Jupiter from the first house is going to aspect your 5th house, 7th house and the 9th house. Its special aspects on 5th and 9th, this is something that I'm going to be focusing on. Jupiter wants you to increase your knowledge, your education and matters related to children. So this is where your knowledge will play an important role in terms of supporting your children or your future needs. Jupiter is also pretty much supportive of higher education during this time. In case you are trying to venture into higher education, these could be courses that are masters or PhDs. This could be a potentially favorable time to initiate or start some of this. One thing which Aries ascendants need to be mindful of during this time, Jupiter is all about expansion. It is making a transit in your ascendant. You have to watch what you eat and take care of your diet. Avoid oily, spicy and sugary foods during this time, else it could be detrimental towards your health and well-being. So you have to ensure that you have a balanced diet, work out in the gym, spend more time in exercising and having a healthy, balanced routine over the next few months. During this transit, particularly where the sign of Pisces falls in your chart, is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results, which is your 12th house. So the 12th house matter would be of good attention, which means this could increase spirituality and similar practices with regards to meditation, yoga, sadhana, that would be extremely beneficial for you. It is a blessed transit overall and a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Taurus ascendants. For Taurus ascendants, Jupiter becomes the 8th lord and the 11th lord. It is not a benefic planet for Taurus ascendants. I have always said that for Venus ruled ascendants, Jupiter becomes a potent malefic, and for Jupiter ruled ascendants, Venus becomes a potent malefic. That is how these two gurus work along with each other. Now this Jupiter is making a direct transit, its last leg, in your 12th house in the sign of Aries. This is your 8th lord and the 11th lord. Jupiter rules transformation for you, longevity, sudden ups and downs, sudden changes, hidden knowledge, subjects that have research in place, places that are across the sea, unknown territories, and also the 11th house of gains, labha, your overall friends, social network, and your ability to influence others. All the material comforts that you have in your life. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 12th house of losses, spirituality, of giving away, your higher self-consciousness. Now, remember this, that Jupiter is the natural ruler of the 12th house of Karpurusha Kundli. So, from that perspective, it does very well in this house, and Jupiter loves spirituality. All the knowledge and jnana related to spiritual practices. This being your 8th lord is making a transit in a direct motion in your 12th house is causing a Viparita yoga in transit, which means there is a rise, but after a significant amount of struggle. This struggle will make you more hungry for learning, and this is the kind of attitude that you must have over the next 3 to 4 months before Jupiter makes the next transit, which is going to be in your ascendant itself. In order to prepare for that, you need to have a huge appetite for learning over the next 4 months. This is also the ruler of your gains, now making a transit in the house of expenses. Your expenses are going to increase significantly over the few months, but then I say that when expenses increase, So does income. Relationships are going to be the focus of the hour. For those people who are married, you would need to connect with your partner more spiritually and at the mental level. This would be extremely favorable for you, and your partner or your spouse might play a very important role as your pillar of strength or support during this time. Jupiter during this transit is going to aspect your 4th house, your 6th house and the 8th house, which means that it is trying to increase the knowledge related significances of your 4th and 8th house matters. Knowledge is going to give you mental peace. It is going to make you feel more comfortable and happy and content. And at the same time, if those people who have interest in occult sciences such as Jyotish, it is an excellent time to learn. It is an excellent time to do research in similar subjects. Anything that involves research, anything that is hidden in nature, you are likely to have an inquisitive mindset during this time, which could be favorable for you. During this transit, your 8th house, which is a sign of Pisces, is also likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results, which means change eventually is going to be good for you, but you need to accept and not resist to this change. Overall, I would say it is a mixed transit, but then the later half of this transit is quite promising for you, because that is where Jupiter would be on the verge of making a transit to your ascendant. So be prepared for it, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Gemini ascendants. For Gemini ascendants, Jupiter becomes the ruler of the 7th house and the ruler of the 10th house. Jupiter is also considered Bhadikesh for Gemini as well as Virgo ascendants. This is the ruler of your marriage, partnership, harmony, relationship, business, or any similar agreements that you have. Those people who are opposite to you. Jupiter also rules your 10th house, which is the house of karma, your actions in the society. This is where we see profession from, the kind of job that you do or things that you do on a day-to-day basis to sustain yourself, which involves your work primarily. This Jupiter is making a transit and a direct motion in your 11th house of gains, your wider social network, your ability to influence others, your friends. Jupiter is also the significator of 11th house. So from that matter, it is likely to increase significations of this house for you. And I have mentioned in most of my transit videos that any planet making a transit in the 11th house or being placed in the 11th house mostly does well. The key message for this transit is that this is the time over the next 4 months you need to increase your significations and gain from your relationships, your partnership, and also support from the spouse. Your spouse is going to play an extremely important role in terms of gains for your own self, and you need to make sure that you respect your relationship, protect your relationship, and at the same time make the most of this opportunity. The other key message is gains with regards to your profession, the kind of work that you do, the job that you have. There are chances that you might be recognized. In case you have a strong Saturn and a strong natal Jupiter in your chart, it is quite likely. There is also a possibility that you might change your profession or work or get into a better opportunity or a job that would be quite expansive for you. Also considering the fact that Pisces falls in your 10th house during this transit, which is likely to demonstrate some sort of positive results. So this itself means that profession related matters would be of priority over the next 3-4 months. Whether it will have some challenges really depends on the natal position of the Jupiter in your chart and the kind of Mahadasha that you're going through during this time. One of the things that you need to be mindful of is in terms of your habits and what you do on a day-to-day basis. Have a very disciplined routine all through the day. Make sure that you rise up early and have a very well planned day. So planning will play a very important role. If you go with structure, if you prioritize your things that you do on a day-to-day basis, make a to-do list, have that in place. And particularly when you write this to-do list, you're also strengthening your Lagna Lord Mercury, which could further be supportive during this transit. This Jupiter from the 11th house is going to be aspecting your 3rd house, your 5th house and the 7th house. 3rd house and the 7th house particularly are going to have an enhancement with regards to your knowledge related matters. Your knowledge will help you in any sort of change and your overall growth, and this knowledge will also play an important role in dealing with other people and bringing harmony in your marital relationship or any sort of business partnership that you might have during this time. Overall, I say it's a positive transit and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Cancer ascendants. For Cancer ascendants, Jupiter becomes the ruler of the 6th house and the 9th house. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 10th house, the most important Kendra house. This is the ruler of 6th house. 6th lord rules your daily routines, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. We also see intelligence from the 6th house. We also see job from the 6th house, considering it talks about daily routines, and a job or work is something that we do on a day-to-day basis. 6th house also represents the ability to help others, the ability to heal others. It is also about debts and diseases, or our mental focus towards health and well-being. This Jupiter is also your 9th house lord, which is the lord of fortune, father figure, mentor, higher learning, long distance travel. This is your Bhagyesha, and this lord is making a transit in the 10th house of karma, your actions in the society, profession, job, and things that you do on a day-to-day basis in order to sustain, in order to grow in this life, and most importantly, to fulfill your purpose during this birth. This is a natural yoga in transit where your 9th lord is making a transit in the 10th house. Jupiter is also one of the significators of the 10th house. This is an excellent time for you to learn certain skills which are useful for your work, because 2024 is all about change. For you, the first half of the year is mostly about learning, upskilling yourself, things that are more relevant to your job or your work. Don't come into a situation wherein you are pushed to learn. If you don't learn, you are going to face a lot of difficulties with regards to your work related matters. So be proactive on that front. The transit is pretty much favorable during this time. Jupiter is also likely to bring expansion with regards to job or the kind of work that you do on a day-to-day basis, because this is where your action would be. Over the next 4 months, it is all about work, it is all about your duty, and that is your responsibility. Condition, if you start upskilling yourself, that is the key during this time. Jupiter from the 10th house is going to be making a 5th aspect on your 2nd house, which is the house of income, your savings. Jupiter is going to increase the significance. So you will apply your knowledge in savings in making important financial decisions. So this is going to be the focus of the hour. Jupiter is going to make a 7th aspect on your 4th house. So this means bring some sort of comfort in your life. But most importantly, Jupiter is going to be making a 9th aspect on your 6th house, which means that you are going to apply your knowledge in your job and in your day-to-day routine. One thing is about learning. A lot of people learn, they pick up a book, they attend a training program, but when it comes to application of that learning, that is what is most crucial, and this transit is supportive of that. So it will ensure that what you learn, you're able to apply for your own success. During this transit, your 9th house is likely to demonstrate positive results, which means fortune is going to be favorable. One thing that you have to be mindful of during this time is have very cordial relationship with regards to people at your workplace. Try to mentor someone, give guidance to people, help them, be supportive of these relationships that you have, and at the same time be a good listener, particularly at your workplace, which will help you learn. So this is something which you must do. Overall, I say it is an expansive and a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Leo ascendants. For Leo ascendants, Jupiter becomes the 5th house ruler and the 8th house ruler. This Jupiter is making a transit in the 9th house. Jupiter is one of the Yoga Karaka planets for Leo ascendants because it is the 5th lord. 5th lord is one of the most important planets for any ascendants, because Jupiter for Leo ascendants rules future, children. It signifies education, speculative gains. It represents positional success and any sort of progression in life. Jupiter plays a very important role. Jupiter also rules the 8th house, which is the house of longevity. It is the house of secrets, mystery. It is the house of change, and this change is sudden. So sudden ups and downs, Jupiter plays a very important role with regards to these matters. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 9th house of fortune, Bhagya, father figure, and this is also the house where we see higher education from. Jupiter is also the core significator of the 9th house. Therefore, without a doubt, this transit, the last phase of Jupiter's transit, is extremely positive for Leo ascendants. It is your 5th lord going into the 9th house, which is not only creating a yoga, but a very significant step towards change, towards progression. And this is where fortune will favor in terms of making decisions for your future. In case you have a well-placed Jupiter in your chart, or you're going through a favorable dasha, this could really be a game changer transit for Leo ascendants. The other reason is that due to the double transit phenomena, your ascendant is pretty much active, which means you will gain mental strength, you will gain intelligence during this time by the disciplinary nature of Saturn and the wisdom of Jupiter. So these are two key words for you: gaining wisdom and maintaining discipline over the next few months. Any long distance travel that you take for dharmic pursuits is going to be extremely beneficial for you, even if it is for leisure. This could bring a significant amount of relief for Leo ascendants over the next few months. Now, this is also your 8th lord making a transit in the 9th house, which would make you learn hidden concepts, would make you do some sort of research, and this is extremely beneficial for you during this time. Jupiter is going to aspect 3 houses. From its 5th aspect, it is going to aspect your ascendant, which means you are going to learn and gain knowledge for enhancing your overall intelligence. This is going to have an impact on your body and soul at a physical level. So the things that you learn, you're going to apply in your overall life. Jupiter is going to be aspecting by its 7th aspect to your 3rd house. This is also an excellent time to get Guru Upatesha or blessings from your mentor, any sort of guidance which will be extremely helpful for you. Jupiter is going to aspect from its 9th aspect to your 5th house. You are going to apply your knowledge in terms of your future related decisions. It is quite a progressive transit. During this transit, your 8th house is likely to demonstrate positive results, which means change is going to be easy for you. It is going to be a way of life and you're likely to embrace this change. One of the things that you have to be mindful of is not to reach a state wherein you feel that you know it all, you have been learning a lot. Don't become complacent. Make sure that you think that there is no finish line in terms of learning. Learning has no age. There's always time to learn. There isn't an age cap when it comes to learning. And at the same time, Jupiter demands humility when it makes a transit in the 9th house. Be kind to others, be humble to others, and respect other people's opinion during this time. Overall, it is quite a progressive and a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Virgo ascendants. For Virgo ascendants, Jupiter becomes the 4th house lord and the 7th house lord. This is the ruler of your homeland, your comfort space, which is the 4th house, mother, the general public, things that you do which make you feel happy, that make you feel content. We also see real estate and fixed assets from the 4th house. Jupiter also rules your 7th house of marriage, partnership, relationship, harmony, those people who are opposite to you, your spouse. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 8th house. 8th house of sudden ups and downs, changes, occult, mysticism, unknown lands or territories, places that are across the sea, longevity most importantly. Jupiter is also considered to be Badakesha or Lord of Obstacle for Virgo ascendants. So from this aspect, it is good because the Badakesha has gone into the 8th house. That means any obstacles related to 4th house matters or 7th house matters are going to be negated during this time. You are likely to put more focus or spend more time with your partner or your spouse in order to bring harmony in your life. You're also likely to connect with your homeland. Your mother's health is going to be the focus of the hour, or an opportunity for you to spend more time. And if in case there have been issues with regards to mother's health, this time you will see improvement in that. But on the other side, this transit is also going to bring some sort of challenges for you because it is going to expand the significations of the 8th house. This means it is going to bring sudden changes in your life. There could be sudden rise or sudden fall depending on your ongoing Mahadasha that you have, which could be a supporting factor for you. But then you have to be mindful, not be very much resistant towards the change. One thing that one must be cautious of being a Virgo ascendant or the moon sign during this time is to maintain cleanliness around you. Have a very hygienic environment, particularly at your home and at your workplace. Make sure that it is neat and clean. It is the time to declutter some of the things that are not of your use and try to give away those things. One of the things that could also be beneficial for you during this time is meditation, which could help you cope up over the next 3 to 4 months in any sort of stressful situations or any sort of challenges that you might face during this transit. Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 12th house by its 5th aspect, which means that your knowledge is going to be put in place in order to help others, in order to give or donate, and at the same time increase your spiritual pursuit. Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 2nd house by its 7th aspect, which will make you a soft spoken person and also put your energies in order to make some savings for your better future. Jupiter, most importantly, by its 9th aspect is going to be aspecting your 4th house, which means your knowledge is going to be put to test in things that you do which make you feel happy, that make you feel content. Try not to be in your comfort zone. Consciously step out of your comfort zone in order to cope up with this change. Try to have a very active routine all through this time. Work out in the gym, exercise, do something that would keep you busy in order to cope up with any kind of stress that you might face. During this time, your 7th house is going to be extremely supportive and positive, which means your partner, spouse, or those people who are opposite to you are likely to play an important role. In case you're all looking forward to getting married, there could be some significant developments during this time as well. Overall, I say it is a mixed transit and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Libra ascendants. For Libra ascendants, Jupiter becomes the ruler of the 3rd house and the ruler of the 6th house. For Libra ascendants, Jupiter is a potent malefic because it's a Venus ruled sign. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 7th house. For Libra ascendants, Jupiter is your 3rd lord, the lord of change. 3rd lord also plays a very important role in growth related matters because this house is all about growth, being one of the Upachaya houses. Jupiter also rules communication for you, any sort of change, and also your younger siblings. This is also where we see short journeys or short travel from. Jupiter also becomes the 6th house ruler, which is the ruler of enemies, debts and diseases, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your intelligence, your overall daily routine. This Jupiter is making a transit in the 7th house of marriage, partnership, relationship, harmony, those people who are opposite to you. We also see people outside of your homeland or foreigners from 7th house. Yes, besides the 12th house, we see it from 7th house as well. This Jupiter naturally is going to expand matters related to this house. But then one way Jupiter faces a challenge in this house is because it gains 0 direction. 1st house, Jupiter gains direction strength. 7th house, it gains 0 direction. So this is where you really need a mentor, guru, guide, someone who could support you, someone who you could look up to in order to gain certain guidance or mentorship during this time. This is going to be extremely important. You might find a guru and you might get some Guru Upadesha, which could be extremely beneficial for your future. So the significations of Jupiter are going to be challenging during this time. This is your 3rd lord, the house of change, making a transit in the house of partnership or marriage. So some sort of change with regards to your partnership, relationship, it's quite indicative of it. You need to focus on your relationship. Be extremely patient in terms of dealing with others. This is the most important life remedy for you over the next 4 months, because if you do that, you are going to have positive expansive significations of Jupiter. Otherwise, it could be challenging for you. You would also need to focus on your daily routine with regards to harmony in your life. I mean, one of the things that you could do is spend more time with your partner, listen to them, take their advice, and accordingly involve them in the decision making process, which should be helpful for you. Jupiter during this transit is going to be aspecting your 11th house by its 5th aspect. Your knowledge is going to be put in use to support your friends, to expand your network, and also how you could gain in the long run over the next few months. Jupiter is going to be aspecting your ascendant by the 7th aspect, which will give you some sort of support at the mental level and also at the physical level. And one thing which you have to be mindful of is what you consume, what you eat. Make sure that you have a balanced, healthy routine over the next few months. Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 3rd house by its 9th aspect. Your knowledge is going to put to test for any change, or you could make good use of knowledge in communication. One of the remedies could be to share your knowledge with others, communicate, and while doing so, you would help others learn, and at the same time, you will get blessings of Jupiter, which would help you cope up with certain challenges that you might have during this time. Your 6th house during this transit is likely to demonstrate positive results. So from a daily routine perspective, this could be favorable for you. You would be busy during this time, but at the same time, you need to ensure that you are busy in right things that are related to knowledge, learning, and wisdom, and also how you support other people during this transit. Overall, it is a mixed transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Scorpio ascendants. For Scorpio ascendants, Jupiter is an important planet because Jupiter becomes your 2nd house lord and the 5th house lord, the ruler of family, income, accumulated wealth, your speech, what and how you feed yourself, those people who you would like to protect. Jupiter is also your 5th lord, which is the lord of future, creativity, children, progression, important decisions that you make for your future. We also see some sort of knowledge from this house as well. Therefore, from a progression point of view, Jupiter plays a very important role for Scorpio ascendants. This Jupiter is making a transit in your 6th house of daily routines, things that you do on a day-to-day basis, your job, competition, debts and diseases, or in a way putting your focus back into your health. This is going to be the focus of the hour, and also health and well-being of your family members or your close ones. This is your 2nd lord making a transit in the 6th house in a direct motion in the sign of Aries. What you say is going to play a very important role in competitive activities or dealing with competition during this time, and be very cautious of conversing at workplace with the people that you deal with in your job. This could be beneficial for you if you have a good command over what you say. So think before speaking, come up with plan and structure before you make a presentation or you deal with other people. This could be beneficial for you. This is also your 5th lord, which is making a transit in the 6th house. So from a progression point of view, your attention and energy would be in terms of fixing your daily routine, expanding what you do on a day-to-day basis. This is going to be the focus of the hour, which could be further beneficial for you, because expanding these significations could help you in making better decisions for your own future. Focus towards children is also going to be your priority during this time. 6th house placement for Jupiter with regards to knowledge and learning is considered good and auspicious, but at the same time, it is not the best transit, I would say, for Scorpio ascendants. The saving grace here is that during this transit, your 5th house is likely to demonstrate positive results. So from a progression point of view, you might see certain progression with regards to your job related matters within the first couple of months. So if you're expecting a promotion or some sort of job change and things have been on hold for that matter, you would see some sort of developments over the next couple of months, that is between January, February. Jupiter from its 5th aspect is going to be aspecting your 10th house. You will put your knowledge at work in terms of your job, and this is something which you need to do consciously. Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 12th house by its 7th aspect, which means increase of spirituality or similar practices. That could be the focus of the hour. And most importantly, Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 2nd house by its 9th aspect. So you will put your knowledge and wisdom to use in terms of making important financial decisions. Any savings or investments that you do during this time could be beneficial for you. For those who have any kind of business and they are wanting to take up a loan or a mortgage in order to settle, this could be potentially a favorable time for you to make these decisions by the blessings of Jupiter. Overall, I would say it is a mixed transit, but the first couple of months seems to be quite progressive and favorable for you. I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Sagittarius ascendants. For Sagittarius ascendants, Jupiter is important because it is your Lagna Lord. It rules your ascendant, the first house, which is your body, your soul, your intelligence, the overall well-being and who you really are. Jupiter also rules your fourth house of comfort, homeland, your mother, the general public, things that you do which make you feel happy, that make you feel content. Now this Jupiter is making a transit in your fifth house of future, progression, children, speculative gains, positional success and any sort of rise that is associated to your future. This Jupiter is creating a natural yoga in transit because Jupiter rules two important kendras for you, or quadrant houses, and is making a transit in a direct motion in one of the trinal houses, which is the most important house because this house really represents future. So by the virtue of this yoga, I could comfortably say that it is quite a progressive transit. Your first house lord, which is your ascendant itself, is making a transit in the fifth house. You will make certain decisions which will support progressive activities for you in terms of your future, things that you do on a day-to-day basis and things that make you feel happy, that make you feel content. You are likely to have some sort of progression with regards to relationship with your mother or matters related to your homeland, your property, any other fixed assets that you have during this time. You are likely to see some sort of gain or developments. If you're thinking of purchasing a property or a fixed asset like a vehicle or anything else that you're likely to own, this transit is particularly favorable and you might see some developments. Condition if your dasha is supportive during this time and if you have a well-placed natal Jupiter in your chart. You must remember that this transit in your fifth house is going to happen once in 12 years. So you need to make the most of it in order to make certain good decisions that could give you long-lasting success and growth. Jupiter by its fifth aspect is going to be aspecting your ninth house. Knowledge is the key, higher learning. So you need to put your own knowledge in order to learn. You need to learn how to learn. It is all about wisdom. And in case you have a guide or a mentor or a guru, take their blessings during this time. Jupiter by its seventh aspect is going to be aspecting your 11th house. So which means there is likely expansion of gains during this time. And most importantly, the ninth aspect is on your ascendant. Knowledge will help you increase your overall intelligence, your emotional quotient, your physical quotient and your mental quotient is going to enhance during this time. Make sure that you make the most of the next 4 months. One thing that you have to particularly be mindful of is in case you have children, make sure that you spend enough time with them and do some things for children in general. In case you don't have, help children. This could also be sponsoring education of a child or helping in terms of donating in schools, particularly special schools that are there. So make sure that you do what you can in your limited capacity. This could be a potentially good remedy for you during this time. During this transit, your fourth house is likely to demonstrate positive results, which will give you happiness, comfort, and also a good relationship or focus towards your homeland or also relationship with your mother. Overall, I would say it is quite a progressive and a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. Now let's talk about Capricorn ascendants. For Capricorn ascendants, Jupiter becomes the ruler of the third house and the ruler of the 12th house. Jupiter rules change, growth, communication, your younger siblings, short journeys, and at the same time it also rules foreign lands. It rules your self-consciousness, your higher self-consciousness. This is also the house of losses, expenditure, your ability to give away, your focus on sleep or bed comforts. This Jupiter is making a transit in the fourth house of comfort, your mother, homeland, things that you do which make you feel happy, that make you feel content. Change is inevitable during this time, and you could expect some sort of change when it comes to things related to your homeland, things related to your mother, And also with regards to managing your expenses, this is going to be the focus of the hour during this time, because you will feel happy when you will spend, and this is something which you have to be mindful of during this time. You need to avoid any kind of extravagance, particularly impulsive decisions when it comes to spending or purchasing something. This Jupiter for you is fostering a good change, and at the same time would help you expand significations of things that you do on a day-to-day basis which makes you feel happy. So focus on that. Jupiter by its 5th aspect is going to be aspecting your 8th house, which means you will put your knowledge to use in terms of learning hidden concepts, research. If you are interested in learning Jyotish, occult sciences, this could be a potentially favorable time for you. By its 7th aspect, it will be aspecting your 10th house. It will expand matters related to your profession or work. So any sort of developments that are there, if you're expecting a promotion, increment, or your change at workplace, this could be a potentially favorable time. Jupiter particularly might favor you in improving your environment at workplace. This is also a point that you need to observe over the next couple of months and make the most of it. And Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 12th house. Your knowledge is going to be put in use in increasing your spiritual pursuits, and this is the ultimate remedy for you during this time. Practice mindfulness, meditation, yoga, sadhana. This will be extremely helpful in order to cope up with any challenges that you might face over the next few months. During this transit, your 3rd house is likely to demonstrate positive results. Any journeys that you take are going to be fruitful during this time, and also focusing on your communication, particularly if you deal with public, if you deal with other people, that is going to play a very important role. Use your knowledge and wisdom in order to help others, in order to ensure that you're sharing that in a proactive manner with other people, which would be helpful for you. Overall, I say it is a mixed transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Aquarius ascendants. For Aquarius ascendants, Jupiter becomes the ruler of the 2nd house and the ruler of the 11th house. For Aquarius ascendants, Jupiter plays a very important role in wealth and income related matters, because it is your Dhanesha, it is the ruler of family, those people who you would like to protect. It also rules gains for you, your social network, friends, and all the material comforts that you have in life. So from an overall financial well-being point of view, Jupiter is an important planet for you. It is making a transit in the 3rd house. 3rd house plays a very important role in growth. It is also second from the 2nd house, which signifies gains, which signifies increase in your fixed income or your accumulated wealth, savings, and also things related to family, things related to people who you would like to protect. This is also the house of change. Any sort of change that Jupiter brings in this house is going to be beneficial for you. Now on the other side, Jupiter is also considered Maran Karaka in the 3rd house, which means it loses its significance. This is a very clear message for you to protect your knowledge, to protect your learning, because this kind of significance is losing during this transit over the next 4 months. You need a guide or a mentor that could push you, and at the same time that person could make you feel confident about the things that you can do it. You need that guidance during this time, which could be extremely beneficial and supportive for you and help you gain those significations of Jupiter during this time. Jupiter by its 5th aspect is going to be aspecting your 7th house. You need to put your knowledge in your relationship, married life, or your partnership, and at the same time you will have support from your spouse or your partner during this transit. Jupiter is going to be having a 7th aspect on your 9th house, which means some sort of support and expansion with regards to your fortune and overall dharmic related activities. And Jupiter is going to be aspecting by its 9th aspect to your 11th house. You are going to put your knowledge in use in order to gain and have some sort of financial well-being during this time. That is going to be the focus of the hour. One of the things you have to be mindful of is to manage your expenses and your finances during this time. So get certain guidance. Maybe take up a course that helps you become more financially aware and independent during this time, which could be beneficial for you, or any sort of learning that is linked to your communication. You will have to be proactive in order to do that, to protect those significations of Jupiter during this time. In this transit, your 2nd house is likely to demonstrate positive results. For the well-being of your family, it is good. What you consume, what you eat, it is again quite positive during this time, and from a wealth point of view, it is a supportive transit. But you need to be careful that you do not end up losing those significations of Jupiter during this time. That is the only point you have to be cautious of, and for that reason I say it is a mixed transit, and I wish you the very best. Let's now talk about Pisces ascendants. For Pisces ascendants, Jupiter becomes the Lagna Lord and the ruler of the 10th Lord, the ruler of yourself, your immunity, overall body, your personality, your intelligence, and also the 10th Lord, which is the Lord of Karma, your profession, your actions in the society, things that you do to sustain yourself, to have a living in this life. This Jupiter is making a transit in the second house of income, second house of savings, accumulated wealth, family, those people who you would like to protect. How you feed yourself, what you feed yourself is also seen from the second house. Jupiter is considered the significator of the second house. Therefore, from that point of view, it is a positive transit. This is also creating a Dhan Yoga in transit, which means it is your first lord now making a direct transit in the second house. If there were certain delays with regards to wealth related matters, if you're expecting an increment and that somehow didn't happen, you will see a window of opportunity wherein that is likely to happen, considering if you are going through a favorable dasha during this time. This increment could be related to your workplace, and any sort of change might help you increase your financial position during this time, because this Jupiter will expand matters related to the second house, which is income, wealth, savings. This is going to be the focus of the hour, and you need to make sure that you make some good, wise investment and savings related decisions over the next 4 months. Jupiter by its 5th aspect is going to be aspecting your 6th house. You need to put your knowledge in use when it comes to your job and things that you do at your workplace. Make sound decisions, make wise decisions, and focus on things that you do on a day-to-day basis. Jupiter is also going to be aspecting your 8th house by its 7th aspect, which will protect and make you feel comfortable with any kind of change that you might face during this time. And Jupiter is going to be aspecting your 10th house of profession, job, career. That is going to see some sort of elevation because it is directly linked to your income and wealth. So this is an area where you're likely to see some sort of developments. Also interestingly, your ascendant is likely to demonstrate positive results during this time, which means this phase is going to give you strength at the mental level, strength at the physical level. But you have to be mindful of the fact and watch what you eat, what you consume. Avoid oily foods, avoid high fat foods, any kind of food or drinks that are high on sugar during this time. Try to have a balanced routine and a balanced life. So this is something which you have to be mindful of over the next 4 months in order to have the most positive significations and results of this Jupiter during this transit. Learn to grow your income. Go for an opportunity that could also create a secondary source of income for you, because your transit is pretty much favorable. So in case you are thinking of doing, this is the time to act. Overall, I would say it is a positive transit, and I wish you the very best. So this was about Jupiter's direct transit in the sign of Aries and how it will have an impact on all 12 ascendant or moon signs. Stay tuned for similar videos in terms of key transit of 2024 that I'm going to be making for you. And once again, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, share this video with your friends. I hope and wish that Jupiter's direct transit in the sign of Aries brings a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and helps us be more aware of our own self. And that is the first stepping stone of leadership. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.